Good evening, Kenton community. My name is Sabatino Samato. I'm your superintendent, and this is your weekly connection update. So a few topics today. First, I want to give everyone an overview, also reminder of all the summer construction that will be happening throughout our community in our school district for this summer. Then we're going to talk briefly about the budget vote that's coming up this Tuesday, and then we'll get into our school highlights, and then finally we'll end with our recognition. So let's get going. So very exciting times. We've talked about this for over a year. We've seen the construction happening, and this summer we're going to see some major movement with construction happening in Kenton. And you'll see in the connection, I really encourage you to just look so that our community, not just our school community, but our entire community really understands what they can expect this summer. And I just want to give you a real quick synopsis now. First, Holmes Elementary. You'll see that the parking lot and sidewalk work will continue. Both entrances will be closed to traffic except for emergency vehicles. And that's going to be a little bit messy, but will end up really beautiful by the time we get to the end of the summer. Edison Elementary. We're just going into our initial phases of Edison. I know we've put that modular classroom up, and now we're going to see that some major things are going to happen at Edison, including the relocation of the infill from Kenmore East, partial parking lot work, new windows, and planting of trees are going to all happen at Edison. Now that's big. That's big news also for Kenmore East when you think about it, because remember, when we did the field at Kenmore East, we have that giant dirt pile. And the point of that wasn't that we were being lazy and we didn't want to move it. We were trying to save a lot of money by saving and storing that dirt for a little while so that it could work as the infill on some of our projects like Edison. So now our Kenmore East community will see that dirt pile go away this summer, and Edison will start to do the site work at Edison, and some of that will be, because if you notice, Edison has a lot of different levels that we're working with our addition that we have to put on, and that infill is going to help us. The Franklin Complex. Besides there being summer school at the Franklin Complex, we're going to have parking lot, sidewalk work. We're going to have interior construction work going on. The rear of the building will really be where there's a lot of mess going on. And a lot of safety has to be taken into consideration because it is our summer school site. We had to use it as our summer school site because so much work is being done throughout the district this summer. But we're confident that Franklin is going to be A-OK, that we're also still going to have access to Lincoln Park, but just for that community to understand what to expect around the Franklin Complex. The Hoover Complex, just the beginning of the Hoover Complex. We're going to see the parking lot work and the preparation and staging area for some future construction. Remember that when we have our parking lot at Hoover, it's just the beginning. We'll have a huge addition coming on to Hoover pretty soon in the future, but this summer we're going to really focus on that parking lot and that site preparation work. Lindbergh Elementary. Lindbergh's another one that will have a lot more work coming up, but this summer we're going to be putting all new windows into Lindbergh. Kenmore West, tons of parking lot work, main entrance work, our interior construction work, and both entrances off Delaware Road, this is important, will not be accessible. Staff will have to use the front bus loop and the parking lot loop off of Highland Parkway, and you'll see that's going to be monumental. Everyone will see driving by Kenmore West that there will be a lot of work going on at Kenmore West. And finally, our administration building, and we're going to do some relocation of our generator here and water line installation, so it'll be a little messy at our administration building. So folks, it's really important to understand. I know that this will be very inconvenient for everyone, not just our school community, like I said, but our Kenton community as a whole. But what it will turn out to be as we continue to progress through our capital will be absolutely amazing. It will be beautiful, and we have to always take into consideration that our schools are the center of our community, and we want our community to look beautiful for years to come. And that's what we're going to have just on the exterior, not even talking about what wonderful academic impact that all of our construction will have. So more to come, and please stay tuned. I really appreciate everyone's cooperation and patience during this time. Next, our budget vote. Don't forget that the annual budget vote and Board of Education election will take place this Tuesday, May 17th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Hoover Middle School, where we typically have it. Use the Sheridan Drive entrance, and please make sure that we're using the Sheridan Drive entrance. On the ballot, you'll see the proposed 22-23 budget, our annual bus purchase, and candidates for the Board of Education. All school district residents are encouraged to come out and vote. And folks, a very exciting time. Very wonderful things happening in our district. Remember, we didn't go up to the tax cap this year. We're trying to do everything that we can to get us the most that we can as a community for the least amount of cost, and that's what that budget is for next year in 22-23. Thank you for all of your support for everything that we're doing here in Kenton. Our next section, you'll see the school highlights. We'll have all of our high schools, some Hoover Elementary, all of our schools again, and Hoover Middle and Hoover Elementary again that are highlighted this week. So please take a look at those highlights. Wonderful things going on in our schools. Springtime is just a wonderful time in our Kenton district. Check out some of those highlights and get to as many events as you possibly can. And we'll end this week with our recognition like we always do. A couple recognitions this week. We'll first start off with our Kenmore West High School theater students, especially theater student Ezra Wright. This week we recognize the outstanding efforts of the Kenmore West High School theater program, which did an amazing job in their spring play production of Sherwood, The Adventures of Robin Hood. The talents of our Kenmore West theater students, led by theater teacher Diana Gruninger, is always evident in their performances. One aspect that really made this evident this year, a student who was playing a major role in the show was unable to participate in the performance due to circumstances outside of everyone's control, and another student in the theater program, Ezra Wright, stepped up and took on this role with barely any time to prepare. He had been involved in the theater program for 3 years, but this was his first performance. Through hard work and perseverance, Ezra was able to go on stage with no script in hand and did a wonderful job. With the help and support of his fellow cast members and crew, the show went on without a hitch. All the students in the Kenmore West Theater program are to be commended, as well as for their amazing work on this production. Ezra pulled it off, but it was a collaboration of the entire cast that made it possible. It was just such a great show, folks, and it was such a great exemplar of what our kiddos do here in Kenton. They do great things, and even when they're faced with adversity, they come together and they make it happen. Ezra, the entire crew, the entire cast, excellent job in Kenmore West Theater. And our final recognition for tonight is our Town of Tonawanda Youth Board honorees. The Town of Tonawanda Youth Board recognized the accomplishments of students and adults who work with youth from across the Kenton community at their 45th annual awards dinner on Wednesday, May 11th. Several students were recognized, including Maria Colosimo, Jack Graduates, and Skylar Hotchkiss, who were recognized as outstanding youth. Maria Colosimo, who was presented with the Outstanding Youth of the Year Award, Drew Heltz, Joey Avino, Aislinn O'Malley, Cora Walker, and Grace Miller, who were recognized as the top 5 youth engaged in service, yes, volunteers, and departing Youth Board student representatives Michaela Pilich and Megan Jones. Additionally, Phil Jaros, a Kenton School District Instructional Support Specialist for Technology, was recognized with the Joseph Allen Jr. Service to Youth Award for his work with school musicals and coordination with other school district projects and services. Congratulations to everyone who was recognized at Wednesday's event. And that brings us to the end this evening, but this is the time of the year that it is, folks. We know that a lot of the events that are going on throughout the district are all highlighting our students' accomplishments and talents. We know we even had some events at the end of this week that we'll highlight during next week's Weekly Connection. And I really encourage, once again, for us to get to as many of these events as possible. It is a wonderful time. If we've learned anything from the last couple years, we've learned don't take all these events for granted. It is a wonderful time in Kenton. It is wonderful to be Kenton strong. It's wonderful to be Kenton proud. And it's wonderful to move Kenton forward into the spring and even summer months. Let's make sure that we're finishing strongly. Have a great weekend, folks.